Yeah. That worked.
All
right, well, it's 11:05. We ready to rock and roll? Let's do it.
Chair Colton.
Good, thanks.
Who else is with? Is that Ethan?
Colton's in his athletic stance. He's ready to get into it. All right, well, welcome everybody to the second team meeting of August. Is anybody still having those conversations? Can you believe it's August? Still, I don't know. We've
Ready
been
to
here.
start? Football season's getting ready to start.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've been here for almost 10 days. It should be, yeah. Anyways, let's get right into it. Oh, here we go. Y4C2Ts. Anybody have a favorite?
Fill the buckets.
Yeah. Yeah, let's pick a favorite and let's fill someone's bucket based on one of these.
Let's do the opportunities for us, since we're going in the shift and it's considered an opportunity, not a bad thing.
Yes.
So that's a good one.
Opportunity for all. Yep. I'm grateful for everybody that I've had the pleasure of meeting so far. I don't know if you saw the announcement, but my official role has been officially announced. I'm the Market Center Tech Trainer. And the people that I've met so far through training, each and every one of you, I can fill Brooke's bucket. Everybody always comes to me and says, well, be patient with me. And Brooke said, you're going to laugh at my computer. And it's a cute little computer.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. It's not really any smaller than mine. I have a tiny, I probably look like a lurch behind mine, but it takes an equal amount of patience as a student. And I want to thank the people that I've worked with so far on their various projects as we audit, or I like to call it taking inventory of your tech and what you currently can do and what you're looking to do in the future. How do we enable you through that? It takes just as much patience as a student. I will be the first to admit that I don't always explain things correctly the first time, or I explain them how they are in my brain. That is not the best way to explain them to someone learning it for the first time. So thank you, Brooke. Thank you, everybody that I've everybody that I've sat down with so far and done tech audits with. Thank you for your patience as I explain things to you. Could be as simple as just getting you set up on the printer, or could be much more complex than that, but we're in it together. And I think that opportunity is huge. So yeah, thanks for giving me the chance to work with you guys.
Brian.
Was that? Oh yeah. Here we are.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about opportunities is that they're only there if you seize them, right? There can be tons of opportunities in front of you, like our technology. But if you don't step out of your comfort zone and embrace it, then it might as well not exist, right? So the opportunity can be there, but also within that, the opportunity to be learning based, right? Because sometimes people look at learning based as that's some kind of a painful skill set, because we all get kind of caught up in our habits, right? And the one thing about a shift, it creates massive opportunity, because the vast majority of the human condition will not change. People will do what they've always done, and they will hope to get what they've always gotten. You guys have probably heard that. The problem is when you double the rate and you increase the average price point by 125 grand, that's a different buyer, right? So if you do everything that you did and you expect to get the same results when the average price was 300 and the average rate was under 3, it's not going to work out. Fortunately, you have the opportunity to be learning based and embrace so much of what we offer. And now that we have Lauren to help one-on-one and in groups, you can now leverage that and to your advantage, because everybody's looking and they're wondering what exactly does this all mean, right? Because it's really not until later do we look back at history and go, oh, now I know what that means. But we do know that if we stay learning based, it's one of the 6 personal perspectives. That's the opportunity. Just be humble and learn and lean in. And then, you start stacking that. We
want to see if we can get some hindsight before everybody else.
Yeah.
A little bit of early hindsight. Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any other? Let's fill them buckets. Anybody else? All right. Moving on.
That guy just makes you want to clap.
He does. Tell. So happy birthday to Michael Mox. Got a birthday coming up here on Saturday. So happy birthday to Michael. And then we got a newcomer here, Brian Wilson, joining Team Boyle. He's out in Centralia.
Brian.
Yeah. Yep.
Lisa's
Welcome to Brian.
brother.
Lisa Boyle.
Well, I'm not.
Oh yeah.
She said Lisa.
Anyway, yeah, super exciting. Love having new people join the team. Did want to talk a little bit. Sydney couldn't be here today to talk about the PC program because she's coaching specifically for it right now as we speak. But did want to shout out, it's already up and running. Brooke is part of it, Shayla's in it. And they're actually making Sydney look a little behind. She needs to catch up with her proteges. But yeah, it's an excellent program, and this is just continuing that theme of opportunity. You know, deals are less likely to fall in your lap during this shift. And so if you're interested in going out and making it happen, this program's for you. So that's all I'll say on that for now, but do reach out to Sydney. We've got our Calendly links up and running. So this one specifically is real easy to remember, calendly.com. Put that slash in there and do Sydney-growing. We'll also email these links out because I also have a Calendly link as well.
So.
Yep. And Kelly's got one. So this Calendly link just makes it real easy to book time with us. It integrates with our calendars already. So it really helps us avoid double booking people or having to call it and reach out and reschedule later. And it gives you an opportunity to see at a glance when we're available. So yeah.
It's forcing me to use my calendar.
It's forcing Kelly to
shout out.
Did want to go over the market watch here. There's a lot of data up on this screen, but I did want to highlight that we've got plenty of new listings. Also, a lot of the existing listings have been reduced recently. This is the last 7 days in Chelan and Douglas County over here on the right. So when you see market watch, Chelan and Douglas County in the last 7 days have had 50 price reductions. They've also had 53 go pending, and we've got 54 new listings. So plenty of activity happening. Real estate clearly is not really slowing down, it's just shifting.
What are you guys seeing? Colton, what are you seeing out there?
Just a changing market. It's shifting more and more towards
Yep.
the buyer's market.
Yeah.
Still tons of activity and tons
It's
of
not
sales
slowing down,
but,
it's just shifting. yeah.
slowing down in the essence that it's going to take longer to sell things, but it's not
Yes, there. Yeah.
slowing down in the essence of less work to be done or less money to be made.
Yeah, and they're actually better deals, you know, they're more professional deals. You don't have to goofy like waive everything and give them your firstborn, you know, hope for the best. I mean, that's a liability ridden environment for us as agents, as a brokerage, for buyers and sellers. So like, enjoy this time because this more balance. You know, I always joke around that realtors are happy with the perfect market about 6 minutes every 12 years. Other than that, it's moving, you know,
Right.
so, but there's some that are worse than others. This is actually, that's going to be an interesting trend to follow on how many price reductions versus how many pendings.
Yeah.
We end up. Be interesting.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about price reductions coming up here. Some of you may have listings that, as much as you counseled your sellers, they just were dead set on grossly overpricing. And we can talk about a strategy coming up here. I did want to highlight this 30-year fixed rate mortgage, that data coming in. You can't quite see it with the people there, but that info is coming from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Actually went down quite a bit, and the average got down below 5%. Now, if you've got buyers that you were working with last year who just got grossly priced out, they were right on the edge. This little reduction in interest rates, if they're able to get in and lock it, it could get them a monthly payment that they actually qualify for. But this reduction is not enough to all of a sudden bring a lot of people back to the market, but it could ease things for your buyers who still qualify. Maybe they just need to come down a price bracket. This is a good sign, especially on the heels of the Fed raising rates. You know, we may see that bounce back up too. So this would be a good time to talk to people who have been on the fence. Get in there and lock your rate at 4.9 because I can't guarantee that it's going to stay below 5. Right? No one can.
Yeah, I don't know, is Michael here?
I don't think we got him here today.
Hawaii. So just remember, like if a seller is going to be willing to lower their price, if you have a buyer, it might be a better scenario for your buyer to have the seller pay down the rate by buying points. And just if your lender doesn't know what that means, get a different lender.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're supposed to help you with.
Or chat with their boss. Yeah.
Yeah, talk to their boss or help them or come to us and talk to us. Because when you look at a $20,000 price reduction and you finance that versus a $20,000 buy down to the rate, which could maybe get you a half a point or so, the monthly payment might be the difference of $100, $200 a month. And that will also keep your debt to income ratio at a lower level. So the structure of a deal when there's seller flexibility is almost as important as the flexibility itself.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And
Are
I-
you seeing anything with your clients?
On the lending side,
No, just with your buyers and anything that's going on as far as buyers, sellers, and price reductions.
sellers are unrealistic and
Yeah.
buyers are optimistic.
Yes, good to hear. Sellers are realistic and buyers are unrealistic,
Unrealistic.
and buyers are optimistic though.
Yeah, I think just the buyers see a lot of the shifting happen, right? So they're like excited to start being able to go in under, but their idea of, still the reality of the moving market is kind of funky. And then sellers are still trying to, get, 6 months or year and a half ago prices.
Well, especially to your point, when they just got their tax assessments. And they're up, I had a, friend of mine went up $1 million. It's like,
Is it a new build?
no,
Oh,
an old house, it's not even on the lake, it's across the street from. But, when they see that, I have another seller that assessed value is at $1 million and it comped in at about $1 million. But he goes, hey, my assessed value is $1 million. I think it's $1.3 million.
maybe
Okay.
last year.
Yeah, so it's
No, their assessment seems high now.
Yeah, well, traditionally it's been at about 80% or so, and they're catching up now. Yeah.
And that is a hard conversation with sellers, especially if their neighbor 2 months ago or 3 months ago or a year ago, so.
Yeah, and if you guys are having trouble with these details, right, just nailing these down and explaining, maybe you're having a hard time understanding the math of how like a buy down could be worth more than a price reduction. Write those things out and script them, right? Internalize those things, memorize them, get with a lender, right? We should all be making those lender relationships anyways, right? Make those relationships with a lender that you're going to bring leads to, but they're also going to kick some leads back to you. All right, we got Colton hopping in here. Colton Rush, welcome Colton Rush. Yeah, write those things out, script them. Yeah, get good at those talking points. Wanted to go over a few tech tips. They've got a sign before you send. I got really excited about this. Then I realized if it's a form that you still have to fill in yourself as a selling broker or a listing broker, you still need to go through that process. So this was less exciting. This one over here on the right is what's exciting. So canceling and relisting is prohibited for simple, small little changes, right? But one exception is that they'll allow the listing firm to cancel and relist the property if you're going to reduce that price by 5% or more. For example, if you have a listing that went on the market at 50,000 and it's become clear after 90 days on the market that was probably not the right price point to put it on the market. If you're going to bring it down by 25,000 or more, that's a 5% reduction. What you can do if that house has been sitting for a long time is you can cancel that listing and get it relisted at the new price of $475 or less. And Northwest MLS will allow you to do that. And it does this can potentially do wonders for your listing and generating new interest, right? A list price price reduction will already bump it up a little bit on Zillow, but it's got that X amount of days on market, right? Northwest MLS is saying here that if you've got a 5% or more reduction in price, you can cancel that entirely, relist it, and it will show up as a new listing. Yes, Colton.
Does there have to be any delay between cancel and relist or?
That was what I originally thought, but they are pretty much promoting this as a fix.
And is this new?
This is so they're putting it out there as new.
I did it 2
But
years ago.
I was going to say it's always kind of been the thing you can do. I think what they're doing is reminding people that you cannot cancel and relist if you're going to make some simple changes to the remarks. And smaller price reductions, I usually tell people, let's drop it by 3%. That seems like a reasonable drop. But if you're going to do more than 5%, this could be an added bonus to that. It's a little more work on your end. But if you just email listing input at Northwest MLS, or even if you do it on the back end, they'll allow for it.
And there was no delay. I think they did it the same day.
Yeah. I think maybe Colton's question is, does there need to be a delay in order for those days on market to fall off?
Yeah, because I just noticed it happened today. So, property in Malaga went off the market, came back on the same day. no changes were made and it wasn't a time to be expired, the days on market stayed there, which
Just
is how it
stayed there.
should be.
Yes, exactly.
But I just was saying, like, is that gonna get mixed up with this, or how do you differentiate that?
Yeah, and for that, I would reach out to listing input at Northwest MLS and just kind of pose that question to them, if you're thinking about doing that as a strategy.
Yeah.
But if you've got listings that are feeling stale, they've been on the market for forever, and your seller is willing to drop by 5% or more, this is an option. It's just, and regardless on Northwest MLS, it may change how it shows up on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, all those places, all those syndications. So that's a tip. And then a reminder, if you guys are doing outside referrals, so referrals coming in from outside this market center, whether they're KW or not, when you're putting that in your commissions, get the firm name, firm address, and the firm tax ID, which is their employer identification number, EIN. That enables us to get everybody paid quickly. If you're having a hard time getting that from the agent that's referring to you, just remind them like, hey, in order to get you paid, I need this information. The simplest way to do that would be for their firm to just send you a W-9.
Because it will not let me do a broker demand if that information has not been put in the system.
Yeah, because for tax accounting purposes, yeah, Colton.
Good idea too, if it's Keller Williams agent, just call the Kelly from that office.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Call their MCA. And I gotta say, at most brokerages, there is somebody in that sort of role. So you can usually find the brokerage number and yeah, but that information is needed in order to get people paid. And if people are kind enough to send us clients as a referral, we want to get them paid. So
And sometimes I've noticed they'll put the agent's name and then they'll put like their team or their address, which is totally different than the firm. And they'll put like their social security number or instead of the firm's tax ID.
yeah, we can't do individual social security numbers. I think even if it's a solo agent running an indie brokerage, we
No.
still need an EIN. So yeah, it's a quick reminder. Yeah, and if you guys want to talk any more tech or just the technical aspects of this job, KW calls it a tech audit. I think a lot of us as professionals maybe cringe a little bit at the word audit, so I'm going to call it a tech inventory. But I've got this Calendly link here, and again, just like with Sydney's and with Kelly's link for scheduling time, we'll put that out in an email as well. But mine is calendly.com/KellerWilliamsNCW. It's the account name I inherited. Pretty easy to remember though. Yeah, so if you want to schedule time with me, schedule time through that. Yeah, and then that's it for me. Anybody have anything to
Do
add?
you have anything you want to address? We kind of skipped over your minute.
No, I thought.
We blended that broker
We
minute
blended it
into the market watch. Yeah.
Hey,
Any questions in Zoom land?
Lauren,
Anybody? Yeah. Yes,
I just
Tom.
want to let people know on the contracts class next week, Marcia's going into listing side for land.
For vacant land. Yeah.
And what we have on the slate for after that is we're going to go into the deep dive into contingent sales.
Awesome. Yeah, and we need that because we're gonna see
more.
more and more of that, I think.
Try and lay it out in a way that it's logic and simple.
What's on today?
Awesome.
what was today?
We just cancel it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's right, because we were having.
right. So no contracts class today. Next week, contracts class, we'll be doing listing input for vacant land. And then we'll be moving on to contingent sales, which we're going to be seeing a lot more vacant land, a lot more contingent sales, a lot more seller financing as the market shifts and people have to get creative. So if there are no further questions, I think that's it. Let you guys go for the day. Awesome.
Yay.
And break. Great meeting. Thanks for joining us in Zoom.
No, she
Bye.
has to go to Seattle. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So